Welcome to Dragonflight Trading. My name is Carrie, and I'm a full-time Elliott Wave trader in the crypto and Forex markets. Today's video is going to be on Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and yeah, that's about it. I have a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. So yeah, it's been a little while since my last video, Thanksgiving, and then the Discord's been my main priority, just, that's where I've been most of my focus. If you are interested, we're about to dive into Elliott Wave in the month of December, so the link is in the description below. All right, let's get started. So, we're on the SP 500, and I wanted to go into this a little bit so that you're aware of what I'm talking about when we get over to Bitcoin, mainly Bitcoin. Now, yes, this was over many years, and I can't even imagine sitting through this correction from 2000 to 2009. 9 years of a correction. But anyways, I'm sure that when they were in the middle here, that they never thought in a million years that they would just barely break the high and then come crashing down. The type of correction that I've been talking about for so long that's still on the table is this expanded flat. And we're also going to talk about this one that is a running flat. If you notice, as the market was coming up into this correction, it started making bearish divergence in this red zone. Bearish divergence, and then it went into correction land. That put it into a bearish zone. If we look over here at Bitcoin, when we were coming up here, we had bearish divergence, and then we went down into the bearish zone. As we started to climb up here, we pulled ourselves out of it over the red zone. In Bitcoin here, we pulled ourselves out of it over into the red zone. This little part in here is this entire part in here. We're sitting in our correction currently in Bitcoin right here. We've had like a 3-wave type of move already. Right here, we've had a 3-wave type of move. And let me get in a little closer here. Let's go to the daily. So as you can see, we've had this 3-wave type of move. That's right here. So what I've talked about for so long is that we don't want to bounce in a 3-wave move when we bounce. Because what it's going to lead to is this big 5-wave move to the downside. So on Bitcoin, if we don't come out of here with a 5-wave move and we bounce with just a 3-wave move, oops. Okay. We're going to come down in a deeper correction. How deep it's going to go, can't say. Will we break the A wave? Like we did in this flat correction? Or will we not break it like in this one? And this one is so much closer to Bitcoin, and we're going to look at it real quick here. Let me go down to the daily. again, in this middle correction here, I'm sure they never would have thought, breaking the high, that they had this correction coming. If you notice at the top, it has three waves, and then a move to the downside. Take a look at Bitcoin. We have three waves, and then a move to the downside. Right here is what I'm talking about. If we bounce in a three-wave move like this, then what happens? We need another leg to the downside. So right now, right here, we need a five-wave move. Otherwise, we're going to come to the downside, and how deep it's going to come, we don't know. Whether it will be a running flat or an expanded flat. That's why it's so important to take off in 5 waves instead of 3. So now you understand and what I'm getting at when I say that we can go up into the expanded B pocket and still come down. All right, let's go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, this is the middle part. And if you pull a fib extension, we still have room to come on up in here to this expanded B pocket. Okay, we could actually make another 5 waves up into this as an ABC. And then we get partner leg. And I just want to make you aware of this so that you're not taken off guard when this wave comes. And it will either be a running or it's going to break the A wave and it's going to come lower, possibly fill the gaps. But this is a correction we have left to us. Now let's talk about the bull. Because we do have the bull, right? We do. Okay. So the bull is the same thing I've been talking about all this time. Let me get this off here. Now this trend line, if you're on log, we've held it. If you go on linear, you just really have to adjust it here, and it actually shows that we have more room. But I'm going with log because it just seems like it fits better. Okay, and we just hit it and bounced. And we still have this gap sitting here that we haven't filled. When you get down on the lower time frame, it touched it to the tick and bounced right off of it, and I'm sure that took a lot of people off guard too. Okay, so the bull scenario, and I kind of got off kilter there, is the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2. Now we don't want this 2 to get any bigger. We don't want to break this trend line. We don't want it to come down to here because that would be a bigger 2 than this 2, and that usually does not happen. Like, it's rare and shouldn't happen. And I went over this, I believe, in my last video. But if we can hold the trend line and take off here, then we have the big 3, 4, 5 on up there to never land somewhere because it's going to be big. If this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, the next wave that's coming is going to be gigantic because this is a pretty big 1, 2, and a pretty big 1-2 for the third. Okay. All right. The other option for bull is that we created a 1 and a 2. This was 3, this was 4, and all of this was 5. So with this bull scenario, it does mean that we can come deeper. Invalidation for this is all the way down here. So it does mean that we can turn this all into one correction, bounce correctively, and come on down, and we could still call this a wave 2. If this is the bullish scenario, this is extremely bullish too, because this means this is a 1 and a 2, and the 3 is going to be gigantic. Like, it's going to look like a massive bull run. So the two bull scenarios are extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. So the only thing we have left that could possibly be bearish is that what we actually did here is a 1 and a 2, a 3, a 4, and that we're ending 5. And we could get another hit to the high with that. Be aware of that. It's possible that we get another hit to the high, it ends our 5, and then we would be looking for a bigger correction down for a higher degree 4th, which usually comes into the prior degree 4th. So I really don't see it. It might come down here and fill these gaps, but it may not. So this would be a higher degree 3, higher degree 4th, and we should get a 5th to the upside if the bull run's going to continue. If it's not, then we're going to come on down and break into our 1, and then we'll absolutely know that this is done, and then we're looking for a larger degree 1 and 2. Because it always continues, okay? But let's worry about all this when it comes. I don't want to scare you with all that, okay? I just want to make you aware of it, that this is a count, and it's something that we need to be aware of. I mean, because when we break the high again, everybody will be thinking moon, 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 and yeah, I don't want anybody getting trapped up here and having to sit through, a huge, long, drawn out bear market. That's not fun. Okay? And most people can't do it. They'll end up panic selling somewhere in here. Okay. Let's go down to a lower time frame. Let's go down to the 8-hour. And I'm trying not to make this a million years long. I was going to show the transitions, but it's just going to take too much time. So I decided not to. So we have this trend line that we have broken. But we can still make a 3-wave move here. Right now, we did have this bullish divergence between these two pivots on the 4-hour. And now we've bounced. As it stands right this moment, we have a slight bearish divergence here. This is kind of going to the upside. And these wicks, because you have to use the candle closes, are going to the downside. So we do have a bearish divergence, but it's slight on the 8-hour. On the 4-hour, same thing, but we've already come to the downside a little bit here already. So it's not very significant to me. So let's talk about this mess in here, because you can see the gap, you can see the trend line coming up, and you can see that we're trying to hold the top of this trend line. And I will go down to a lower time frame and talk about it. All right, so we can assume that this is the start of something, whether it be an A wave or a wave 1, because it is 5 waves. Those of you that are curious, that are Elliott Wave people, are probably wondering, well, how the heck did we end down here when this looks so 3 wave? Well, the only way it could have happened is with an ending expanding diagonal. Okay? Where we made a 5th wave and it was truncated and it was an expanding diagonal. All 3s. I don't see any other way that it could have happened, but it could have happened like this. And then we went up to the upside in a 5 wave move. So this is either a flat that got overextended. Well, actually it didn't. 2.618 is the highest that you can go. Now I can count this several waves. I can make all of this into a complex correction. And I'm going to try not to confuse you here. Where we could do 3, all of this be complex. We would need to come down and fill gap. And then we could go up for 5 or 3. That would be a 3 wave move. Something we don't want. So it is on the table. If we ended down here, then we have a 5 wave move, and I'm going to put it here for an A. We're making B or 2, and then we're either going to go up for C or 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and that will be the 5 wave move that we want out of here. Now in the middle here, what I see is a middle connector, and we'll make this yellow. Yellow. Didn't say that right, did I? Then I see we have this initial move to the downside that needs a partner. We'll make that brown. And actually, I think this is the 5th, if it's a 5 wave move. And this in the middle here was a flat of some sort. Okay? So this is kind of how it's going to happen if we get the bullish move. It will probably fill the gap. Like, come on now and fill this gap, okay? Get it over with. And hold trend line, barely break this one, and then go. And remember that it can be an A wave or wave 1. And this can be a B or a wave 2. But neither one should break that bottom right there. That's our red line of death. And we'll either get C wave to the upside, or we're going to get the 5 wave move that we want out of here. So we need to pay close attention right now. All right, let's move on over to ETH. Okay, ETH Same thing. We've got this trend line that we broke and now we've come back into. Okay. If you put it on linear, we haven't broken it. So which one you want to use? I can't really say which one is the correct one. It's like I wish there wasn't the difference, but there is, and there's just nothing we can do about it. Okay, so right as it stands now, we don't have any bearish divergence on the daily. Let's go down to a lower time frame. And the counts, the upper degree counts, they're the same, guys. Exactly the same. We still have the A. This would be A, B, C. We'd come up into the expanded B pocket. And we could even get another wave to the upside, 100%. And then we still have the option where we come down for that C that doesn't break bottom or comes deeper and breaks bottom. Those corrections are still on the table until we wipe out that expanded B pocket, which is pulling your fib from this high to this low. And we have to hit and take out this 1.618. The minute we hit it, we can take expanded B off the table. And that's pretty high up there. That's 78.25 on log. On linear, it's 6,015. And honestly, I'd probably go with linear first. Okay, so those corrections are the same between the two. I didn't want to get down here in this lower time frame without telling you that. Okay, so with ETH, we almost broke the high, but we didn't do it. So right now, I see two things. One, we have the option that we can make a complex correction here, where this was 3, this was 3, and then we're either going to come down in 5 or 3. How deep it will come, I can't say till it gets going. First option. Second option is that this was a leading diagonal, which it's a beautiful leading diagonal. So a leading diagonal's 5. But if we break this high at all, you can wipe this 5 wave off of the table, because nothing is allowed to break the high of a 5 wave move, whether it's an A wave or it's a wave 1. We're not allowed to break it. So if we correct and we break it, then no go with 5 wave. So two options with this. It's a 1, it's 2, we're going to come down for 3, 4, 5, or it's an A, it's a B, and it's a C. But the minute we break over that high, 5 waves comes off the table and the other count comes into play. The other count where we have 3. B wave can break the top now and go into the expanded B pocket and then come down for C. Either is running flat where we don't break A, or is expanded where we break A. Okay? So that's ETH in a nutshell right there. All right. let's quickly move over to these requests that I had. The first one is Solana. Beautiful, beautiful count here. Now, is this the low of the one? I can't be sure. But when I pull, and when these coins first get going, sometimes you have to start from the first consolidation. So I looked around to find the one that had the most data. So pulling the fib extension from here, we hit a perfect 1.618 for the third. And now we're up in the fifth territory. So we've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and the question is, are we done with 5? So let's go down to the 4 hour and let's talk about it. So it looks like we had a third that ended up here. Because this does look like 5 waves to me. So the question right now is, are we making another fourth? If we are, we don't want to break the prior degree fourth. We want to stay above that. So let's talk about this little part right here. Kind of too hot, too low of a time frame. So I see it 2 ways. Okay, I see this as it could be 3. We could have this middle connector, and then we get 3 or 5 to the downside. And how deep that comes, I can't say. Or what we did was we made just this 3. And now this is the start of something. If this is the start of something, then we absolutely cannot break this low. So if this is an A or a wave 1, because both have 5 waves, A or wave 1, we cannot break that bottom. Okay, we come down for a correction. You want it to look like this, 3-wave move. And then we're either going to get C or we're going to get the big third and on our way to finish this 5th. But this is a pretty good invalidation point for either this is a middle connector and we need a partner leg for this and we'll break red line, or that's not how it was. This was the 3-wave move and this is the start of something. Invalidation right here at 180.161. I forget to call them out. I'm sorry. All right, mana, however you say that. You guys can make fun of me. On the daily, it's a little funky in here. Okay. Very funky, actually. But we cannot, you know, we definitely have hit, whether we want to pull our fib extensions like this, like all of this was 1 and this was 2. This is definitely a 1 and a 2. This is definitely an impulse wave that hit the 1.618. Okay. So even though this is ugly, I'm calling this a 1. It was either here and we did a 1 2 1 2, but I don't think so because this 1 2 would be bigger. So I think it's 1 2 like this. And then we have 1 2. This is the third. We're making a 4th and we're going to go up for 5th. When we get up there to the 5th, we'll have to see if that's a higher degree third and then we get a fourth. But I can update way before that, okay? This is what we're immediately looking at. So let's talk about this fourth. Okay, to me, it looks like we had a three-wave move down. This can be determined. No, it has to be because of this overlapping. Okay. I believe that we had a three-wave move down, a three-wave here in the middle for a B or for a B wave, and then we need this C to the downside. Now, whether the C breaks the A, we can't tell yet. It might. But as long as it doesn't come into the wave one, it's fine. Right here. So it can come deep if it needs to or wants to. As long as it doesn't come into this one here. Okay, so I really see this as a three wave, and now we're coming down for this leg. It doesn't have to come that deep. It can not break the A wave. This would be a very bullish correction, and then this asset would go. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're interested in the Discord, it's a new month. We're going to be diving deep into Elliott Wave. And if you watch this video to the end, type I love Elliott Wave. And I cannot believe, and I am just so thankful for all the people that are watching my videos to the end. It really makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference of some sort out there. So I love each and every one of you, and I wish you the best day whenever. All right.